Good day, everyone. Welcome to Quilpie. That was a rather scenic ride, wasn't it? I have something rather special planned for today. Something a little out of the ordinary. But hey, you wouldn't expect anything less from me, right? Okay, so I'm standing next to this old remnants of a railway line, and now you're going, well, girl, you have totally lost the biscuit. You did a pub last week, a dingo fence, and now you're next to a railway line. Geez, ye of little faith. This railway line actually played a pivotal part in, well, a story in aviation history here in Australia. It's like, hello, are you getting your planes, trains and automobiles mixed up? What the blooming heck has a railway line got to do with aviation history? Ye of little faith, folks. Let me explain. Okay, in order for this to make sense, we'll need to put all of this into context, so bear with me. I'm currently in a little town named Quilpie in Outback Queensland, and Quilpie is about 200 or so kilometres from a bigger town named Charleville. And for a long time, Charleville was the end of the railway line. In the era in which the railroads were built out here, there was little in the way of roads. If you wanted to head out in this direction as a passenger, Charleville is about as far as you could go. However, in 1911, work commenced on the railway out to where I am now, in Quilpie, and it was finally finished in 1917. It literally put Quilpie on the map. However, it took until 1935 for there to be a regular passenger service out here. Ironically, that was called the Flying Flea of all things. Now, before I have you thinking that you've accidentally tuned into the History Channel, you know, a mind-bendingly boring show like really old trains that have nothing to do with motorcycles nor aviation, I'll pull it all together for you. Now, this railway line actually plays the pivotal part in one of female aviation pioneers' history, Amy Johnson no less, how she became to be out here in Quilpie. I'll explain that in a minute. But those of you who know me know that I have a bit of my own history with aviation. I'm a bit of an aviation buff. I managed to solo in under 10 hours, and I went on to become a commercial pilot there for a while. Due to ill health, I no longer fly commercially anymore, and I spent many years when I was private flying using just a compass and a wristwatch and a map myself. Now, I went old school because, you know, GPSs can fail, and I like to know exactly pinpointed where I am, but that's just me. I'm a little bit different, as you know. Can you imagine back in those days in an open cockpit aircraft flying across the oceans and lands from London to Australia with just a compass and a wristwatch? I mean, not even the option of GPS. And I mean, Amy Johnson is my hero because she was one of the first to do that trip, trying to beat Bert Hinkler's record of 15 days, in which she didn't do it because she had a few problems along the way, so she didn't beat his record. But nonetheless, she was the first female to accomplish that flight from London to Australia. And this is why this railway here plays a bit of a part in that integral story of aviation history. When Amy took off on her solo flight from London to Australia, she had little more than a year's flight experience. Her father helped her finance the little aircraft, which she pretty much converted into a flying fuel tank. I've done
some totally mad things in my time, but probably not this crazy. No wonder I resonate with her. She flew through rainstorms, windstorms, and even sandstorms. She tackled extreme cold and extreme heat. And eventually, after a series of stops to refuel, she landed at Darwin on May 24, 1930. And with an old map in hand, she only need fly to Charleville, refuel, then off to Brisbane. And Charleville was easy to find from the air, right? It's where the railway ends, right? Wrong. Poor Amy's map was outdated and showed Charleville as the end of the railway line, and it really screwed things up for her. When she found the railway line, she turned and followed it to its completion, expecting to land at Charleville. So you can imagine her surprise when she landed right here at Quilpie, the real end of the line. Even our heroes have their challenges.
Vast land. The rock up here that I sit atop overlooking the vast expanse, the township of Quilpie. And to think this trip might not have happened if I didn't let go. I didn't take that chance and think, you know what, maybe I should just get on out there and give it a go. You never know what you need, isn't it? Until you go out and try and seek it, and then you'll find bit by bit it'll find you, and then you'll find this certain level of contentment, and you'll realise this is your new norm, finding all these amazing places along the way. And that's what's so beautiful, I think, about what I'm doing and about the internet. I'm finding a lot of y'all want to go out and do this adventure for yourself. And the funny thing is, I didn't even know I needed this till about a year ago. And then it kind of all effortlessly fell into place. But it all started in the most unlikely of ways. And then it just revealed itself. And I think even in the disasters, because I've had a lot of disasters in my life and things where I thought I was at the end of the line, much like the railway line here, eh? I thought I was at the end of the line a lot of times, believing you me, and I didn't think I'd ever find my passion again. And yet here I am, sitting upon a rock, looking out here, taking a chance and not giving up, not saying die and not settling for the norm or what I'm supposed to do. Bugger that. Bugger that. If I did what I was supposed to do, I think I'd be dead and buried by now. I'm pretty sure of that. But yet here I am sitting here, looking out over the magnificent horizon and thinking how lucky I am. And that I didn't give up on myself, and that I decided to take a chance. Try something new and out there. Much as what Amy Johnson did with flying, starting being an engineer and then a pilot, where a time when women definitely weren't supposed to do that. Bugger that, there's no excitement in what you're supposed to do. I abscond with the norm, I'm happy to say. I rebel against it. And I'm glad I do. I've got that fire in my belly again. Don't ever give up. Because you don't always know what you need till you go forth, seek it, and it'll find you.